Beyond the Sandwich Board is a space for pastors and leaders navigating real ministry, vision, pressure, faith, and perseverance. Beyond the Sandwich Board is a resource of My Faith News. We support pastors by sharing what God is doing locally, faithfully, and without an agenda. Because ministry isn't built on announcements. It's built on preparing a place for God's presence.
Oh, there we go. Hey, good morning, Jills.
Hello, Leo.
We're back on the air again.
Welcome. Isn't it good to be back?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
People have been asking, where's Beyond the Sandwich Board? I've been telling them that we've been preparing so much for the other meeting that we just couldn't do it all the time. So
yeah, the goal was to give good content no matter what, right?
Yep.
And
we got a great guest today. We got Bernard Ori. He's an old friend of mine, he uses social media in a way that I think everybody should learn. He was able to go from a hairdresser to building $1 million business, or probably multi-million-dollar business. He got all the money and I didn't, but and so we're going to have him aboard with us. But before we start, I just want to talk about what happened on Thursday, because that was probably one of the most significant milestones, not only for My Faith News, but you and I have been developing Beyond the Sandwich Board for quite some time. And we were able to get, there's an old saying, the saying is that we were able to take the mountain of media for the state of Vermont, which is really exciting. And maybe you just talk about that for a minute, what happened. We had a really great crew, and WCAX was so wonderful to us. Just maybe talk about that a little bit.
WCAX was, I feel, over the top with it. It was, they were definitely over the top, and it was the cherry on top, if you will. It was so good. But we just were able to unveil what you and I believe the Lord has given us as a vision, a strategic vision to really elevate the voice of the gospel and to help take ground here in Vermont, right? It's the least church state, and we want to change that. And so instead of talking about it, we're going to do something about it. And that's where we're at. And so we've unleashed kind of our strategy, and I think the response was very, very well.
I've talked to most everybody. I haven't gotten everybody, but they're so excited about what's happening in the state, and people are already thinking about how they can get aboard. And one of the primary parts of the initiative is that ministries. I got a call from one of the ministries the other day, and he says, "I'm going to send you a check. I want to send you a check for every month right now." And I said, "I don't want your money. I want you to get businesses to help pay for it. I'd rather you were for free, and we get businesses and people who want to elevate the gospel, and we want them to ride along with us, because most of the ministries of Vermont don't have a budget for it. You know what I mean? But we can get them to that place in their ministry where we can go from a handful of people that were to maybe 20,000 people whenever something comes up in the market. So we're working on that right now. We've been working with some of the other pastors and ministry leaders already. We've had some great conversations. Maybe afterwards we'll talk about it with you. But it's quite amazing, about what God is doing. And I'm not saying that. What we're doing is it costs a lot. But we're doing it in a way that actually makes it so it's easy for a small ministry to get involved and help to elevate, working together to elevate the voice of the gospel throughout the whole region, which is the goal. So it's a unique vision that's really going to make a huge difference, I think.
I think it's the cheat code, if you will, or the hack. I think it's a cheat code, or it's the hack. On how churches can really, it really isn't. And I said it there, and I'll keep saying it, because what we've done has become an equalizer, so that a church in rural Vermont has the same or more assets and more resources than a mega church in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah.
Orlando, Florida, or wherever you
Mhm.
want to be, whatever market.
Yep.
I think we've just changed it. We flipped it so that they have the resources that would make them jealous.
Yeah. Yep. So I think we got a really a lot of work to do this summer. But it's an exciting work because it's just getting everybody on the same page, working for the same purpose. The state's gonna flip from the least church state in the union to the most church state in the union.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be able to
I
affect.
agree. Come
I
on.
think we're gonna be a model for the whole country.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, right now we're at base camp, right?
We're at base camp. Yeah.
We're gonna scale that mountain, but we gotta get there.
But we can see where we're going probably for the first time, in my opinion.
And I feel, we have a team of people that are excited and ready to go and doing it, and so it's very fun and exciting.
Yeah.
Now, but let's get into why we're on.
That's right. So one of the component parts of that is learning how to utilize the tools that we have out there, and that's why we brought Bernard Ori on with us. Bernard is an old friend of mine. We used to run around the country doing seminars and stuff for a number of years, and just to go to Bernard's seminar, it was like $1,200 to $1,500 a head. And we used to fill some of those seminars up. One of my more memorable ones is we had 20 people with, what was it? We'll have to get Bernard. Let's bring a Bernard aboard and we'll talk about some old stories. So hold on, let me get him. All right. Hey, Bernard, we're going to start talking about you.
That's good. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe,
I'm going to introduce Bernard Ori. He's from Slidell, Louisiana. When I first met Bernard, he had a little tiny hairdress. He had a little hairdressing salon, and his mom had a wig store upstairs.
Yep, that's
and
true.
Since then, he's taken over the wig store, and he is. I tease him because I don't think he cuts hair anymore.
I don't. I stepped out from behind the chair about 12, 13 years ago.
That's right. Yeah.
I manage and teach and do education, and don't tell too many of our old stories. I'm not so proud of the early days, and so come a long way. It's been a long time, right? I think I was in my mid to late 20s when I first met you, and I'm 57 years old now.
Yeah, you don't even look it.
Yeah. Thank God. Yeah. Well, that's why I'm still kind of in the hair business. I keep saying, I think I got another 4 or 5 years of looking young enough and relatable enough, and my color's growing out. All I got to do is color a little darker, and I can go another year or two and relate to these young stylists. But I've actually got a 29 and a 30-year-old son that are in the hair business, and they work in the business doing hair replacement, hair extension.
That was Bernard. That was Bernard Jr.
No. Bernard's a little older. That's Brennan and Taylor. My youngest.
Remember when I stayed at your house one day and I had to stay in your son's room and he was a little kid?
You were in the bunk bed, right? You were in the bottom bunk, and he was throwing stuffed animals down on you in the bottom bunk. I think I remember.
How many years ago was that?
So for people that don't know where Slidell is, it's near New Orleans, and I don't know how many years ago that was. He's like 32.
Well, how old is he?
32, 33, and so
he was like 5.
Yeah. So yep. So that's how long we've known each other, 25, 30 years. Well, we probably knew each other 5, 6 years before you ended up at my house on a road. Yeah. But what do you want to know from me about social media?
First of all, Bernard, what I want to talk about is that you took social media and you just didn't post things online. You actually did more than posting, and maybe just talk about that journey a little bit. And a lot of people are afraid there's fear in building a relationship with someone that you don't know.
Right.
But, and I really think not only is it valuable to do in your case, you're a Christian, but a lot of the people that are going to hear this podcast today are people that are Christians and they're trying to build relationships. I can tell you, nobody goes to church unless they're invited.
True. Right? And something I had always talked about was one of the most misquoted scriptures in the Bible is about money and evil, right? Mm-hmm. Money is the root of all evil, people will say, and it's not even how it's worded, and they don't read the whole thing. Yeah. And so to me, money is a tool. Obviously, you need money to do what you're doing now. Money's the tool, and you can go good or you can go bad with it. Social media is the same thing. It's when the telephone first came out. people said, oh no, we don't have to speak face to face. The telephone's going to be the ruination of society. Nobody's going to leave their homes anymore. Now everybody has a phone in their pocket, and we are still doing okay. And so each time some technology comes out, people freak out. I mean, it's all about the robots right now. They're going to take over the world and kill us all. And maybe they will, but even Elon says that. But in the meantime, most things up till robots are tools. I mean, the robots might make us the tools, right? And so I can remember an older friend of mine complaining about I think it was a baseball game. He said, Bernard, I went to a baseball game. Good Christian friend of mine too. And this is 10, 12 years ago. He said, and I was so disappointed. Everybody is like this, and they're not even watching the game. They're all texting, and nobody even saw the game. I said, Robert, why do you care? You watch the game and don't worry about all those other people. He said, I just think it's ruining our society. I will never text. And I said, Robert, if you never text, you won't have a relationship with all those kids you have. And he said, what do you mean? I said, your kids are moving all over the country, all over the world. And a text is like a postcard. It's short and it's personal. And you can tell somebody how much you care about them, how much you love them, how much you appreciate them in a quick little message. So it's just a tool, dude. You can use it for good or for bad. You have to learn the self-control like everything else. He texts a lot now, and it's mostly with his kids. But I said, you'll have no relationship with your kids if you don't text. And so he got it. It's all about self-control. I've gone overboard with social media. I'm on at 11:30 or 12 at night when I shouldn't be. I go, I got to learn some self-control. But for me, it was just, I wrote some notes here, and I love this word my wife gave me when I was doing the first seminar. As I started to unlock Facebook and figure out those hacks, she was like, I think what you're trying to tell people is it's more about building sincere, authentic, I love that word, authentic relationships. And who else is doing more of that than pastors trying to have relationships, right? So it all started with me with a friend of mine named Jude Grayson, my kid's karate instructor. We're going out as friends to dinner. And I was like, Jude, I'm not getting this Instagram thing. Started on Instagram. Now I'm kind of moving more of a being known for Facebook. But I said, I don't get this Instagram thing. He takes my phone from me. His wife's driving. The guys are in the back seat. And he takes it from me. He starts teaching me how to use Instagram. And so at that point, between that and Facebook, let me just give you a world view of how I view all of this. In the early days, we're all old guys here. We remember Mario, right? You used to play a Mario game.
Mario games, yeah.
Yeah, and they didn't come with instructions. There was no where to go. You just kind of ended up somewhere and something would appear on the screen, and you would figure out these tunnels and places to get points. And it was just like you figured it out along the way. Some people called them Easter eggs, And so to me, that was gaming, and you were figuring it out. That's how Facebook and social media is to me now. There's no instructions, a little bit of YouTube videos, but to me, it's like the game of life. I don't want to play a game where I'm just wasting my time in my phone and I don't get to know anybody. This game of life is like building relationships with people who I can help and can help me. And we're building these things that last forever. And I don't really know the best way to communicate with them every day. I'm learning every day. And so to me, it's like the real life game of Mario. It's the game of life instead of just some game.
So you see it as a challenge.
Yeah, it's a challenge. It's fun. It's a journey. I get better at it every day. And so as I'm starting to understand it more, I'm enjoying sharing these basic skills of how to use social media, predominantly Facebook, and for a reason, to build your life, your business, your income. Yeah. So that's kind of in a nutshell. And I can go into more detail but I thought I might let you talk for a minute.
And I'm sure Jill's is probably cooking right now. So
yeah.
I want to talk about one thing that really always struck me. If you remember when we were on the road, because we would go on the road once a month, we would be on the road for quit a day. Well, one of the things you used to do was, as part of the class, is that you used to get everybody with their phones out. And after they cut in some hair, you would get them taking pictures and posting them immediately online. And you would tenaciously try to get them to get an appointment. You know what I mean? And with their clients because they were online with them, and that's no different than people. It was the testimony of a changed life, and you were. I mean, that's what it's all about,
right?
That you were, and what they were witnessing was transformation, and what
I
it
wish
did is it got. They were getting. It was like going fishing. So we'd be sitting in the class with, anywhere from 10 to 20 people, and they would go, I got one.
I got one.
I got one.
Yeah. I learned that.
Exhilarating.
Yeah. I was in and I would love to take credit for this great idea I had, but I think it's more important that I came across the idea somewhere. I was teaching an extension class years ago, and I had 8 extension models getting hair done by 8 stylists. And I walked by, and I'm thinking this young girl is being rude on her phone. Now I said, what are you doing? I said, we're too boring for you? She goes, oh no, I'm posting the journey. I'm posting pictures and videos of the journey and showing people what I'm going through. And I'm like, this is genius. And then she goes, as a matter of fact, I've already got one consultation set up for my stylist. And I was like, oh, wow. This, you know what? That's a whole new image I have in my head about social media. Yeah. You can advertise in a newspaper and it's just a still picture, right? And they got to read it and they got to act. But you know what social media is? Like this thing we're doing right now. It's like, I hate to use this analogy, but the first time I ever saw a Harry Potter movie and they're going up the steps and you see the pictures on the walls, they're moving. It's like videos. It's like, ooh, that's the future. It's so weird and spooky. It's like moving pictures, but it's interactive. You can talk to the people in the picture. That's what this is. It's like, it's moving, it's happening, and it can be interactive at any time if you want to be interactive. Or you can put a few words, close your computer or your phone and forget about it and not interact. So it can be as much or as little as you want.
I just got a text message just before we started of a girl that just got healed.
Oh, wow.
At a healing room yesterday, and she's posting it. But you know who she posted it to? Just me.
Oh, goodness. Yeah.
But other people could have that same opportunity about that's the journey of transformation, So anyway, that's
really good. That's really good because my mentor in the social media space, he asked me one time, he said, are your blinds open? Are your curtains open? And I said, what do you mean? He said, social media is a window into your business. He said, did you do a haircut today? And jokingly, and I'd be like, yeah, I guess, even though I'm not behind the chair. I'm like, yeah. He goes, really? Who knows that you did it? I said, what do you mean? He said, if you didn't post it, it didn't happen. I said, whoa, what? He said, yeah, if you're not showing people out in the world, people used to walk by your business, look in your window, see what you did, and that's how you got clients. This is the new window into your business. You have to show them what's happening in your business through this window right here. So open your curtains, open your blinds, which means you got to video a little bit, and then you've got to post it. Yeah. That was a big one to open up my eyes.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jills. I can tell you, I can see the smoke.
I'm trying to think like, as a pastor is sitting here watching this, they have to be wondering, what do they do? What do they post? How do they entice people? Right.
That's really good. Yeah, that's true. And so I'm going to talk about a little unorthodox way of
I wouldn't expect any less from you, Bernard.
And again, I'm going to give Jude Grayson the credit here. We did an hour and 20-minute YouTube that can be found on my YouTube channel called The Profitable Stylist. I don't know if you noticed this little play button over here.
He's a silver man.
I got the silver play button. It'll be a long time before I get the next one. But my business partner does all the stuff to make this show where it should show and everything. Yeah. But oh my goodness. So Jude Grayson, he tells me, he says, all right, so Bernard, I see you trying to grow it through a page and it's just not going to work. So I think the first thing to understand, let me make sure I'm saying your name right. Is it Jills?
Yeah.
Jills. Yep. Okay. Perfect. So Jills, the first thing to understand is that there's so many places you can be on social media, right? And so a lot of people are wondering, should I be on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Snapchat? I don't know what to do. And I would say that that Jude had taught me first, if you have a local business, Facebook is the place to start because Facebook tends to grow geographically. It happens to grow of friends of friends of friends. It recommends the friends of your friends to friend request next, right? And so when you're growing something local, that's the best way to start. Now you can hack the system and go national like I have, and even worldwide, but it starts off naturally growing in a local area. Whereas Instagram and TikTok are heavily rated on interest and likes, hobbies, like or interests or things that you like, or hashtag. And so then it'll show everybody in the world what you posted based on what you posted. And now that you grow fast, you get hundreds of thousands, millions of followers really fast, but they're all over the world. They may not benefit your business, or you may not be able to benefit them. So that first comes to mind for me for the reason why Facebook is the one I recommend starting on. Now, if somebody's really good at one of the other ones, you can kind of make them work locally, and maybe you stick there. If you've already learned TikTok or already learned Instagram, sure, dive into that. But if you're not knowing where to start with Facebook. And then from Facebook, it can be complicated enough because you got a profile, a page, a group. You can post a story, you can post a reel. So it can start to get a little daunting, not to mention Messenger. And so to answer your question a little more specifically, the unorthodox thing that I like to do is understand what a profile is compared to a page. And so a page, most people say, oh, I opened a business, I opened a church, I opened a whatever, and I need to market it. So I need a page to represent my business, which is true in a way. But a page is sort of like a website. It's basically your public image for your business. And your profile is your personal side, right? And so the way Facebook started was just personal. It was just personal. It started off with, is she pretty or not? And you would swipe right or left and say yes or no. Then it started turning into kind of like a MySpace thing, like all my personal information. Let me just be friends with my family all around town, and started growing. And then it blew up so big that it was like, wait, we're showing too many people stuff and they can't see it all. So we have to use an algorithm. And so now it got like throttled where only 1 or 2% of your followers or whatever even see your post. So that's what makes it a little more challenging. So what people started doing was they started making profiles for their businesses, and Facebook was like, okay, if businesses are going to use the profile side, let's separate it into people and businesses. And so that's where the profile and the page come in. And so people think if I got a business or I got a church, I need to do the page and only post there, and that's where they fail. Because on the page side, you ask people to like or follow. On the profile side, you ask people to be your friend request, right? So when you ask somebody, if I friend request each of you guys today, you're going to be like, oh, Bernard wants to be my friend. That's cool. He was a nice guy, hopefully, and we'll be friends. I'll see what he does with his family and his kid. But if I say, I do hair, follow my hair page, you're going to be like, oh, why? He's trying to sell me something. And so on pages, it's inherently going to look like you're trying to sell somebody something. Follow my church page. Oh, they want us to go to church there. We already know that. It's got to start with the sincere, authentic relationship before they ever want to come to your business or your church. So to me, the hack is understanding the profile first. And most people are their business also. So that's the first thing you got to get over is open your personal profile completely public and be authentic, be who you are. You can't have this secret private life and run a business separately and expect to be successful. You got to decide to be open and be real and let people see who you really are. People love seeing my life. I have golden doodles. I have chickens. I have honeybees. I'm rebuilding a trailer right now. I brought a tractor on my property, and people are interested in the personal life of me. I got a little 13-year-old who's got red curly hair and he's into karate. People love seeing the forms. I almost called you the wrong name. Leo over here, he's smiling right now because he knows all these things about me. And that's the personal connection. And so you've got to grow on your personal profile first, because when you open a business page, the first thing it says is, how do you want to start populating this page? Would you like to ask your friends to like this page? So it only makes sense that you grow the profile so that you can use it to grow the page. Keep growing the profile so you can keep growing the page. Because when you have all the friends on the profile side, do either one of you guys know what the limit is on Facebook friends? There's a limit.
4,000.
What is it?
4,000, right?
You're close. It's 5.
Okay.
It's 5,000. Most people have about 350 friends on Facebook. So most people have a lot of room to grow. And so make it a goal. Friend request, 10, 20, 50 people a day in your area. That's the first growth strategy.
Yeah.
Go ahead and get to 5,000.
So let me make sure everybody understands what you're saying,
Sure.
and even myself. Is you're saying is that when we build our page, we go into our friends
Profile.
and go in and invite them to the page. So they're seeing our personal profile and they see you're a real human being, and then you invite them into what you do, so
Yes.
they get to know who you are, and then they get to know what you do.
Yes.
Okay.
That's right. I should have said it like that. That was a lot faster. Yes. And so there's a lot more strategy going on. And I tell you, this is kind of, I'm going to do this because I think it's really fun. I'm going to say this one extra part that I got hit with, and it's almost a little rude. You wouldn't expect any less from me there either. This is what Jude did it to me. So I'll just do it to myself first. He says, "So Bernard, do you look on Facebook?" I said, "Well, of course." You scroll through your feed? I said, "Yes." And he goes, "You just do like this?" I said, "Yeah, I mean, a little slower." And he said, "Do you like or comment on anything?" I said, "No." He said, "Why?" I said, "I don't know. I don't have time." He said, "That is so rude. You're just lurking." I said, "Lurking? That sounds really mean." He goes, "Yeah, you're just looking rudely." I said, "It's not rude. I didn't do anything rude." He goes, "Oh, it's rude." He said, "These people are pouring out their hearts and souls." People make fun of people and say, "Oh, they're posting on Facebook when they go to the bathroom." Well, you know what? They're wanting to tell somebody, and they want somebody to care about their bathroom habits or their meal or their lunch. And you're just scrolling through and not caring at all. They're pouring out their hearts and souls, looking for people to communicate with them. They want to have friends. They want to communicate with somebody. And most people are just scrolling through. What an opportunity. Facebook decided to show it on your feed because it only shows 1 or 2%. For some reason, it thinks that you might be interested in these people's posts that you are friends with. And most people don't do it. That's right. But this is where it's so easy to shine. You need to communicate. It's called engagement. For a reason. You need to engage with these people. There's a few choices to make. At the least, you should be hitting the like button. And if you like it a little more, hold that button down a few seconds more, and a whole array of things come up. Hugging a heart. It could be this. It could be laughing, smiling. Show them some emotion. But better than that, you should comment. How much time does it take out of your life to actually show these people some love? Show them. So that's the way you start off, paying into the system. Of course, you got to have friends. So you're always friending people. That's part of the strategy. Second part of the strategy is pay into the system that you expect to pay you back. So that's kind of where it starts. Doesn't that make sense though?
Yep.
It makes a lot of sense. And I'm feeling guilty already.
Comment. You're feeling like, comment, and share their stuff.
At
that
least
way.
it in some form or fashion, and then commenting is even at a higher place. What you're saying.
So what Jude even created, I could probably even send it to you, Leo. He created, get this, I love the name of it. He created a little thing. It's a little document that's called Rules of Engagement. Almost like war, but it's engagement on social media. And he's got a hierarchy of engagement. And in the comment section, if somebody comments on my stuff, see, I got to comment on things for people to even know they should be commenting on mine, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like you pay, they'll pay back. When they comment, my first rule is I have to be the last to comment on every comment of every post that I make. So when I start posting, if 3 or 4 people comment, think about the power of double. If we could all double our bank accounts right now, we'd be really happy, right?
Yeah. Double
is such a huge number. It doesn't feel like it when it's 1, but you take a penny and double it every day for 30 days, it's over $1 million. So the power of doubling. I think you go 31 days and it's over 10 million. So the power of doubling is incredible. So if 5 people, let's just say 2 people, comment on my post today, I showed a beehive yesterday. Today, right now is the most nectar for the next 3 weeks, is the most nectar coming in all year long. So all our beehives, I'm the president of the local beekeepers club in my area. I don't know if you knew that. And so I started a Facebook group, actually a private group it's a public group for our beekeepers. And I show a video of that. Well, I want this group to grow. So I show the video and people make comments on whether I'm doing it right or wrong, or what am I doing? And if 3 people commented and I answer all 3, it turns into 6 comments. It shows Facebook that we engage back and forth. So the next time that I post something, those 3 are definitely going to see it because they showed in the algorithm they care about my posts. So now I'm growing my viewership because I'm actually building authentic, sincere relationships just through conversations.
Now, let me ask you, when you post on their comments, and if you make a comment on their post, do you post from your personal profile or do you post from your business profile or your professional profile?
Usually the personal, but sometimes I don't notice which one I'm in. and then I'm like, oh shoot, that was from the page. But it doesn't really matter much, but the personal profile usually, because most people I'm communicating from person to person.
Okay.
So
now, when you are purely in yours, do you take your professional profile and also post it on your personal profile so people can kind of see what you do?
So there's some rules for that too. And so Jude said, I hope I can remember these, just to kind of help me remember. I used to do this system. In your personal profile, it should be heavily weighted personal. In your business page, it should be heavily weighted business, but they should share a little personal over here and a little business over here. So we would try to do a post a day, roughly 5 days a week, and maybe take a weekend off. It's kind of where people should start. That's a heavy load, I know, but if you're going to do 5 posts, one of them should be business. It should be 4 personal, 1 business in your personal profile. And I used to do something like faith, family, fun, finance. I can't remember the other F right now, but it was just to balance my life out. I should be talking about my faith, my family, my finances, basically the job. That's the business one. My fun, my hobbies, and I'm gonna have to try to remember.
Is that part of that profile that you were talking about? The engagement?
So in the personal profile, as I'm posting each day, this is something to understand too. It's like the hierarchy of the rules of engagement is a picture is good. I mean, words are okay. A picture is better. A video is better. It's
short video. Right?
Yeah. And I mean, if your audience will watch longer videos, it's fine, but it's more about the consistency, Leo. If somebody posts 20-minute videos once a week, it should always be 20-minute videos, because that's the customer or the watcher or the follower that's going to get used to your sort of content.
Yeah.
It's more about consistency.
On my church, whenever I post pictures, it goes through the roof. If I just say something, I don't get a lot of engagement. And then if I post a video, people are watching it, and I can tell it how long it's been watched for, and not everybody will comment it, but I get a lot of views.
And that's the good thing about a video, is you can get feedback without action, right? Because a picture, you don't know how long they looked at a picture necessarily. You don't know how long they pondered on your words necessarily, unless they like it or comment or share it. But on a video, they can scroll, and even if no sound's playing, that's why it's important to have subtitles on there.
Yeah.
They'll watch the image, and they might watch the subtitle. They might be at work, and they shouldn't be on their phone, but they are, and they're reading the subtitles. And so you're right. You get more analysis and more feedback from videos, because it's going to say the watch time, how long they watch, if you're really into all of the analysis.
Yeah, I've been doing ones that are between 59. I try to stay at 59 seconds, but I usually get a little over because I have too much to say.
So I found that stylists don't like to read much, and they're very visually stimulated. So what I do is I put a few words on the screen. I do some editing through a free app called Video Leap, and here's a system here. There's a new style of integration system that we sell.
I could scare them with one of those systems.
Yeah. So there's this integration system. This girl had it folded like this on a mannequin head. She's putting a needle through here, pulling hair through and putting a bead. And as she's putting it through, I just videoed for like 8 or 9 seconds, and then I posted it. But I know people aren't going to read the description. They're going to see that. Like you said, it scares them. People are like, what is that? Is that a wig? Is it a hairpiece? Is it a toupee? And so they see this thing, this hair, this thing, and they don't understand it. And then I got words on the screen, and I make the words float across the screen. It's super easy editing too, but it just says Beaded Topper Education and then my website. And it's just floating across the screen in this 9-second video. So they have to see the words because they're interested in the hair, but the words are going in front of their face. And I put no words in the description. And so the thing I wanted to wrap this little section up with is when I post that video, I don't only post it to my, well, you call it a lot of things. You just call it posting, but to your feed, I post it. And then I go to my story and I post it as a story. And then I go to my reel and post it to my reel. So every day I post story and reel every day.
You're posting at least 2 things a day then.
Well, that would be the same thing, posted 3 times and then automatically sharing to Instagram.
Okay.
Because Meta owns both of them. So why not just let it automatically go there?
And it automatically goes to it.
Yeah. Huh. And then when you're on the phone, here's the thing. You see, well, I'm going to let you catch up and then I'll show you that. Any questions about that so far? I'm getting excited. I'm just going to go through the whole thing.
Joe, do you have anything to add?
Well, I just want to, I want to maybe clarify.
Sure, please. Summarize.
It sounds to me like one of the messages, you haven't come out and said this, but I'm kind of picking up on it. I want to see if I'm saying it right or hearing it right. But for pastors, it's okay to post boring stuff, everyday stuff, the things that we might consider monotonous, like posting of the hair to a hairdresser. That's something you guys do every day, and it's probably not very interesting to a hairdresser,
to the person doing it, right? Because it gets to be mundane to us.
But to a pastor who's sitting in his study with 17 books opened and scribbling out all of his notes, but that might be a good time to just pop on and say, hey, look at, I'm studying, I'm so excited for Sunday's message, we're going to be talking about whatever.
Even if you're not excited, they're interested. Look at what I have to do every week to prepare for you guys. I mean, they would love that too. What I'm saying is, whatever you're actually feeling at the time, people love. You're right.
I could talk into that for a minute because
go for it. Yeah.
I learned that. Do you remember my old friend Terry Lynn?
Yes.
Remember Terry? She was remember I had a publicist?
Mm-hmm.
And she would get me on the news all the time. And she would come into my office about once a month and she'd walk around and she'd say to me, so tell me what's going on. And I would tell her boring things. And I said, that's not really a story. And she would say to me, what do you mean that's not a story? That is a story. One time we walked in and we were panicking because every salon has an appointment book. Yeah. And if you lose that appointment book, the salon is in trouble. Well, somebody had stolen our appointment book.
Oh!
And so I said, I don't know what to tell you, Barbara. Terry, I'm too busy today. We're trying to figure out our appointment book. The girls are going crazy. And
that's
she just
definitely a story.
She goes, that's a story. And
that doesn't happen to many people.
We were on NBC 6 in Miami, right? Talking about it. My phone started ringing, and then this guy, his name was Vinny, comes sheepishly in the store with my appointment book. He had grabbed it by accident. The most mundane thing became a story, and it ended up on the news.
That's great. That's great. That's great. So you know what my friend Jude did? He had a business meeting with the managers of his 3 karate schools. And he said, okay, we're going to do a little I don't know what you call it, a little lesson here. I want you guys to write on a piece of paper what you did from this morning till now. It was 4 PM. And they're like, what do you mean? Write down everything you did today. Everything you remember from waking up. I mean, as detailed as you want. Woke up, put your shoes on, got dressed, took a shower, brought the kids to daycare. What did you eat? They list it all. And he says, you see that whole list there? Every single one of those written down things throughout the day are postable events. I was like,
Jills, you hearing this, Jills?
Yeah.
We got to learn how to do this better.
every single thing that happens during the day. Sometimes while I'm doing this with people, you don't even know it. I'm videoing from down low or off to the side. I video a little bit of it. I mean, it's that easy. I could do it like right now. Like, look, I got the phone on and then I'll hit video. And while I'm talking to you guys about something, nobody even has to see it happening. And I know that I'm talking about Facebook marketing to a bunch of pastors all over the country. And then I can post this later. And that's it.
You'll see that Jay is dead and that Leo is now alive.
What about Jerry? Yeah. So it becomes fun and a bit of a game because, you know, it was October when Jude looked at my account, and I did have more Facebook friends on my personal side than most average people, 350. I had 3,500. And so he said, it might've been 2,500, somewhere around the 3,000 mark. And he said, you need to be to 5,000 by the end of the year. He gave me a goal. And I was like, I did the math and I'm like, okay, not everybody accepts a friend request. But that's where I learned friend requests get accepted way faster than trying to get people to like my page, my business that I'm trying to grow. And so what Jude says is, he said, don't do like most hairdressers. I don't know the pastor world as well as I know the hairdresser world. Tell me if there's something that compares to this. So hairdressers often on their personal profile, completely wrong, but this is what they do. And I hate it. They often put up a post. I have openings tomorrow at 2 and 4. Yeah. I have haircut openings, color openings. And it's like that. You're just telling me what a loser and how unbusy you are right now. Nobody wants to be a part of the losing team. I want to know how good and how successful and what you're doing in the positive direction.
Post that we have church service tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Probably not. Probably not. Because this is what Jude said to me. He said, okay, imagine this. We're having a conversation right now. It's all really real. You're interested in what I'm saying. I'm interested in what you're saying. It's going back and forth. He said, when you say I have openings tomorrow at 2 and 4, or I have color 20% off this month. He said, imagine walking up. We just saw each other we're both going to the grocery store. You're in the vegetable section. And I'm like, hey, Leo, how you doing? And you go, I got color discounted 20% off this week. What? Why would you
say
that?
It's a transactional relationship, and that's not a healthy one.
It's not even normal, but we do it on social media. And so that's when Jude opened up my eyes. He's like, your personal profile is to be freaking personal. Be friends with people, actually care about their life, let them care about your life, talk about life. And if you're going to talk about business, it's only emotional. I said, wait a minute. Oh, that's what helped me, right? He said, when you talk about business on your personal profile, you never talk about when you're open and how long you're open. You never talk about the money or your discounts, or you have any of these business things that you think help you. All you talk about is the emotion, how much you love your job, love what you did to a client, how much your client loved their outcome. Because when you say, look at her hair, oh my God, we both had so much fun doing this. She's so excited. They automatically do the marketing for you. Then they say, well, what did you do? Hey, Donna, can you put the AC a little lower, please? They automatically will ask. I love
in the church business, I think Jill's could probably talk into this, is you got to talk about things that are going on with people's lives, how things were changed, how prayer was answered, or just little testimonies. And it could be the smallest little things. I mean, Jill's probably could talk about that.
It could be a new song, a new worship song. We got speaker, just the emotions, how much fun, how much you enjoy it. Testimonial, basically, right?
Yep. Just giving testimonies.
Yeah, tell them what time church is.
Don't ask for an order. Just give a testimony.
Let them ask you what time. When you tell them how much you're loving what you're doing, they'll ask you what time. That's the engagement that you're looking for.
It's true. Yep.
Yeah. Huh.
A lot to think about, huh?
We got to do this again, Bernard. We're only barely scratching the surface.
I know. I got a lot more notes, and we are barely scratching the surface. I don't even know what time we're supposed to go.
I can't pay you as much as I used to pay you. So.
I love doing this. You don't have to pay me for this. I'm starting to get known for this Facebook thing because I've been really diving into it. And another good set of friends of ours locally owns this dental business. They sell like over 10 million in dental supplies nationwide. And they had their first convention, like a hair show, but a dental show in New Orleans last year. I went and helped video a little bit and helped them do some interviewing because I have some cameras and I don't have my mic on, but I have it right here. And so they loved it so much. They asked me to speak as a speaker about Facebook come in October. I'm a little nervous, but this is kind of practice for it because this is it's the direction I'm going in. Yeah. I just want to. You have any questions about where I'm at so far? Do you feel like you understand it all?
Give Jill's the floor.
No. Keep going.
I'm going to tell you a little bit of a problem that we have because I want to be able to bring a solution to the floor, and I think you brought some of it, but I want to make sure we reiterate it. A lot of people are, they have a desire to make sure that word gets out about different events they're having and things like that. And we'll tell our friends or our immediate circle, but they're afraid to go online, Bernard. They're afraid there's a tendency to be a little fearful about that kind of interaction, especially using their personal ones. Everybody probably has a professional one that's in ministry and somehow they use it to a limit. But how do you overcome that fear?
I'm not 100% sure because I deal with it too with hairdressers. Yeah. I have a hairdresser I thought was completely on board, completely open to everything. I did a little small class as a test. And I had 5 or 6 business people around town. 3 of them were hairdressers from my salon. And I said, okay, guys, we've done a few classes now, a few weeks in a row. Let's make sure our settings are correct. Let's go through the settings in Facebook because we need to be as public as possible. I mean, and so we go to who can comment? Everyone. And then one girl goes, "Ooh, I don't know if I want everyone." I was like, what? What do you mean? You want customers to come and pay for haircuts? What are you limiting? Well, I've got children. I don't want them to see my kids and then want to kidnap them. I'm like, well, don't put your kids on Facebook then. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. And one of the most powerful things about this social media is you control your social media. You can block them. You can totally block them and they can never see your stuff again. They can never comment on anything again. You can delete negative comments. So I don't really know how to answer your question because I don't live in that fear, but I do encourage people all the time to I guess the thing I would say is, what are you trying to hide? If you're scared.
One of my goals is to take Vermont. I'm not sure if I think I've shared this with you. Vermont is the least church state in the union. And not only is it the least, it's famous for being the least church state in the union.
I didn't even know that.
With New Hampshire, which is the second least church state in the union. And so one of our goals is is to make it the most church state in the union and as an example. But we're doing a lot of stuff. Jill's and I are working on a project. You've seen some of the stuff we're doing, but one of the ways to do it is this is a way of doing it organically. And
definitely.
That is, if everybody in our circle that we work with, we're all working together to not only post some of the things, tell some of the story, and pass the stories on. It's free.
It's free, and you could share each other's stuff, right? Yeah. That's considered a post also, is to share a post, becomes a post on your board or your wall, like other people shared stuff.
Yeah.
But this is when you said organic, it triggered something in me because many of the guys out there, Gills,
there you go.
There you go. I didn't know if you wanted to talk, your mic had got muted for a second. So a lot of people still think of social media like they want to pay for the advertise. They don't mind. Let me pay to tell people what time our services are, what time our business is open, and to try to get clients. And then we'll just hope they show up. Well, that's fine, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work because you know what? I like to watch other people's paid marketing, and I'll look at things that I think are interesting. And what happens is people ask questions because this is another little thing to know, and the difference between the profile and the page. And this is why you got to have them both. You can't pay to play. You can't boost a post in your profile.
Yeah.
But you can in your page. You can pay to play in your page. When you post something that is ridiculously good and may possibly go viral, it's not going to go viral in a profile. You're going to get more interaction in a profile in the early days because those are your actual friends and people that care about you. The page is a business. But if you post something that people really love on the page side, Facebook will push it out to thousands. I've got posts that I got 20 and 30,000 comments that I could never read because it's me doing a haircut that's controversial. People are, a third of them hate it and 2/3 of them love it. And so if you learn how to do engagement organically, like you're talking about, if you decide to boost a post by paying 10 or 20 bucks to get the word out there that you're having a revival or something one weekend, people are going to ask when, where, what time, who's there. If you don't answer any of those questions, you shouldn't have wasted your money paying for the marketing. So if you're not going to engage in the free organic stuff, don't even think about paying. Don't pay because you're just wasting your money. That's something I learned the hard way also. I thought if I paid, I could work less, but not necessarily. You've got to, people in this social media world want to be social. Gary Vaynerchuk says social media is the new word of mouth. People used to say my business grew off of word of mouth. Well, this is word of mouth. It's a different kind of word of mouth.
It is. And I know I could tell stories about how word of mouth works and without social media. I mean, anyway, I want to ask you a question. I don't, because we are running out of time, and and I got someone that's on his way over to visit me, an evangelist that's in the state. He's on his way here. But anyway, first of all, Bernard, I want to just say thank you. I mean,
it was
fun. This is so valuable.
You're welcome.
For people, and maybe publicly here is asking for a commitment that we can reschedule you another time and maybe bring it to another level.
There's the salesman in Gills. You saw that?
I did, yeah.
He's getting me publicly. I don't think we got a bad connection. I can't hear y'all.
But you can't hear us?
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Did you have to ask Vincent? Did you have to ask,
gotta ask my wife.
You have to ask RJ if it was okay. Because he's the one that's jealous of your time. He's managing his assets.
No, I'd be happy to do it again. He's trying to manage my objections up front too here.
If you need me to call RJ, I'll call him for you.
Right now. I call my wife and see if that day and time.
You know how much it costs for Bernard to be on there for an hour with you, Leo?
What do you do this on a certain day? Is it every week on
we try to do them, I think I forgot Jill's, we're every Thursday or something like that. Or
Thursdays,
something like that. We're recalibrating only because we just finished launching the biggest launch that we've had, and we're looking at now we want this is part of our educational program, and
so Thursdays are good for me because I already do a live at 10 a.m. on a Thursday morning Central Time. So then
we'll look at the schedule.
I'd love to do it again.
We'll keep going. Maybe who knows? Maybe we can get you up here to do a seminar someday.
Well, so we just kind of covered all the basics. We can dive into a little deeper in each one of those categories. Yeah.
So anyway, I really appreciate it. I don't know if Jills has anything finally he would like to add.
This was such good stuff. I think it's really valuable.
Thank you.
I know I'm going back and looking at my stuff again. I'm going to say, what am I doing wrong? And I'm going
to probably nothing wrong.
That little sheet, I'll send it out to a lot of, I'll just send it out as a little gift to some of our members.
Okay. Yeah, just text me and remind me to send you the rules of engagement.
Yeah, rules of engagement. Yeah.
So, stuff. Anyway. Marketing is ministry.
That's right.
Anyway, I appreciate it, Bernard. If you don't mind, I'm going to stick you in the green room just for a few minutes. I'm just going to end it with Jills with everybody.
Sure.
All right. And then I'll come back to stay with me, though. Don't go anywhere for 1 minute. All right.
Thanks for having me, guys. Bye, Jills.
Right. I'll see you in a minute. Okay. Yeah. Let's see if I can get this right. There we go. I did it. Anyway,
Hey,
that was amazing. Huh, Jules?
very good stuff.
It was even better than I could imagine. And
Yeah.
I think it's another way where we're going to work together as a pastors and Christian leaders throughout the state to be able to take what we've got and bring it to the next level. And we have a really great story. It's the gospel of Jesus Christ. So
That's right. Yeah. Transformation.
and people can get transformed. Amen. So
Right. I mean, that's what
Anyway.
we've got. We've got the cure, the hope. We've got what the world's looking for.
yep. Amen. So I appreciate it. I'm going to get back. We'll get back on with Bernard for a minute and
Yeah.
talk about what we can do next.
Yeah.
So-
Do your thing.
Yep. All right.
Okay.
Well, God bless you, Jules. If
Bless you.
I can be there, you can stay on with us. But I'm just going to
Yeah.
say goodbye to everybody, and we'll see you all
Goodbye,
next
everybody.
time on Beyond the Sandwich Board. This is Pastor Jills and Pastor Leo. God bless you all.
Beyond the Sandwich Board is a space for pastors and leaders navigating real ministry, vision, pressure, faith, and perseverance. Beyond the Sandwich Board is a resource of My Faith News. We support pastors by sharing what God is doing locally, faithfully, and without an agenda. Because ministry isn't built on announcements. It's built on preparing a place for God's presence.
Anyway, thanks, guys.